Subscribe to my YouTube channel Movie Camera Documentary Rewrite, NBA Lives Cut Short. In breaking news, CNN confirms what the sports world prayed it would never hear. NBA icon Kobe Bryant was among the passengers on a helicopter flight that claimed multiple lives. He was just 41 years old. For fans around the world, moments like this leave a scar. We grow up watching athletes become legends, stars with impossible talent, larger-than-life energy, and futures that seem guaranteed. And then, suddenly, a life can stop. A legacy can freeze in time. Tonight, we look at the players who chased the basketball dream and reached the pinnacle, only to lose everything long before their story should have ended. From promising draft picks, to international icons, to hometown heroes, these are the NBA stars whose lives were cut short. Lorenzen Wright. A hometown hero lost. Lorenzen Wright was more than a 7-foot athlete. He was a Memphis legend. Born in Oxford, Mississippi and raised around the game, he tore through college competition at the University of Memphis before declaring for the 1996 NBA Draft. Selected 7th overall by the Clippers, Wright became a respected teammate across multiple franchises: Atlanta, Memphis, Sacramento, and Cleveland. In 2010, everything changed. Wright left his home in Tennessee and never returned. Days later, he was found dead, and investigators uncovered that he had been killed. Years passed before his former spouse was sentenced in connection with the case. Memphis still remembers him as a hero taken too soon. Bison Dele, the mystery at sea. Bison Dele, born Brian Williams, was gifted, driven, and almost impossible to stop in the paint. He dominated in college, earned a top 10 NBA selection, and played for Orlando, Denver, the Clippers, Chicago, and Detroit. But after basketball, Dele sought peace in travel and adventure. That journey led to a tragic mystery. While sailing in the South Pacific with his partner and a boat captain, all three disappeared. Authorities later concluded they likely died during that voyage. The full truth may never be known. His story remains one of the most haunting in NBA history. George Trapp. A talent with unfinished business. George Trapp helped power Long Beach State into the NCAA tournament spotlight, earned a top 5 NBA draft selection, and became a dynamic scorer off the bench for the Hawks. But in 2002, a confrontation in Detroit ended in his death. Fans who remembered his rise were left with disbelief, another career erased before time. Jack Molinas. Brilliant but troubled. Jack Molinas had everything: Columbia University stardom, national attention, and a top 3 NBA selection. But controversy chased him, gambling ruined opportunities, and life outside the sport became chaotic. In 1975, Molinas was killed in Los Angeles in an incident involving a targeted shooting. His journey remains one of basketball's most complicated cautionary tales. Gary Suter. Raw potential derailed. Gary Suter was 6 feet 9 inches, skilled, and relentless. But off-court troubles overshadowed his potential. After brief NBA stints and years of personal struggles, Suter's life ended in 1982 when he was killed during a dispute involving money. His name became another reminder of how quickly promise can disappear. Bryce Dejean-Jones. A rising NBA role player. Bryce Dejean-Jones thrilled Los Angeles high school gyms, bounced through major college programs, and fought his way into the NBA. He earned minutes with the New Orleans Pelicans and delivered a standout performance against the Lakers, his best game as a pro. Just weeks later, Dejean-Jones was killed after entering the wrong apartment during the night. The resident fired in fear, ending Bryce's life before his career had even begun. Dražen Petrović. The pride of Europe. Some players are gifted. Dražen Petrović was transcendent. From Croatian prodigy to European champion, to NBA star, Petrović became the blueprint for international scorers. He joined New Jersey, lit up the league, and proved that Europe's best belonged on NBA hardwood. In 1993, while traveling in Germany, Petrović died in a highway collision. Around the world, fans mourned the European superstar who never reached his ceiling. Joe Fulks, from war hero to NBA pioneer. Jumping Joe, Fulks improvised his first basketball hoop on a farm, and became one of the NBA's earliest scoring legends. He served in World War II, returned home, and dominated for Philadelphia, setting scoring records that stunned the young league. In 1976, Fulks died after an argument turned violent. His legacy lives in the record books, long after the headlines faded. Howard Porter, a championship star with a hard road back. Howard Porter didn't just play. He carried Villanova to the NCAA title game and earned Most Outstanding Player honors. Drugs and injuries derailed his NBA career, but Porter rebuilt his life, worked in criminal justice, and tried to help others avoid his path. In 2007, he was found severely beaten after a disappearance, and he later died from his injuries. The man once on top of college basketball left a legacy of struggle and redemption. Len Bias, the future of Boston. Len Bias was supposed to be the Celtics' next dynasty piece, explosive, unstoppable, and destined for all-star nights. Maryland fans already considered him a legend. Boston drafted him second overall in 1986. 2 days later, Bias died after using cocaine, leading to public outrage and sweeping new legislation. His story remains one of the most famous what-ifs in the sport. Bubbles Hawkins, a scoring spark who lost his way. Robert "Bubbles" Hawkins brought Detroit gyms alive, became a parade All-American, and lit up the nets with 19 points per game during his NBA peak. But conflicts, instability, and personal challenges pushed him out of the league. In 1993, Hawkins was killed in Detroit, and the case went cold, leaving only memories of the player he could have become. Reggie Harding, a pioneer who never found balance. Reggie Harding was a Detroit legend, so dominant in high school that he became one of the first players drafted straight into the NBA. But instability followed him. A decade of setbacks ended in 1972 when Harding was killed in a shooting. His story is a symbol of early potential lost in tragedy. Anthony Roberts, a quiet star gone suddenly. Anthony Roberts averaged more than 21 points in college, earned All-American recognition, and carved out a steady 5-year NBA career. In 1997, during an argument in a parking lot, Roberts was shot and killed. The gunman later received a life sentence. Ozell Jones, a journeyman who never stopped fighting. From Compton to Wichita State, from Italy to the NBA, Ozell Jones chased every opportunity the game offered. But in 2006, Jones was found dead in his apartment, the victim of a shooting that remains unresolved. His story ended with unanswered questions and a community still searching for closure. The legacy of loss. These names do not represent statistics. They represent laughter in locker rooms, families changed forever, and generations of fans who never got to see what might have been. Basketball gives us legends. Life sometimes takes them back too soon. And in every arena, from Memphis to Detroit to Europe, people still ask one question. What more could they have become?